Good evening. Australia is grieving the loss of 5 soldiers killed in our darkest day in Afghanistan. 3 were from Gallipoli barracks in Enoggera. 2 were SAS soldiers who died just hours later in a helicopter crash.
The 3 diggers from 3 RAR were shot dead at close range by an Afghan soldier as they stood talking together, relaxing at the end of the day. Tim Collett is at Enoggera barracks, and Tim, Queensland is in mourning.
Yes, Bill, very much so. When our young men and women pull on that uniform, these are the days that they and their families fear the most. As you said, 5 young men killed whilst on active duty, 3 of them based here at the Gallipoli barracks at Enoggera. Now that brings to 23 the number of Queensland-based soldiers killed whilst on active duty in Afghanistan. When a member of the Afghan National Army turned his automatic weapon on his Australian allies, he killed 3 almost instantly. One of them, a 40-year-old Lance Corporal, a veteran of the war in Iraq and on his 2nd tour of Afghanistan, and he was attached to the 2nd 14th Light Horse Regiment. Another, a 23-year-old private. He was a member of 6th Battalion RAR and on his 1st tour of Afghanistan. Whilst the 3rd, he was a sapper attached to the 2nd Combat Engineers Regiment, also on his 1st tour in the war zone. Now, obviously, no names are being released at this stage at the request of their terribly distraught families. Now, we saw those wonderful images of 3 RAR task group being farewelled from these very barracks back in May. They left our shores a month later. And in a separate incident, 2 SAS soldiers were killed when their helicopter crash landed and rolled whilst returning from a mission. Now, those soldiers were aged 30 and 23 and had numerous tours of duty between them.
Stern-faced, the Prime Minister leaving the Pacific Islands Forum in the Cook Islands to hurry home.
Our nation is confronting the most awful news.
It's my sad and solemn duty to inform you that 5 Australian soldiers have been killed in 2 separate incidents in Afghanistan.
Our worst 24 hours since Vietnam's Battle of Long Tan. 3 soldiers killed and 2 wounded when a man in an Afghan army uniform opened up on them at close range at a base in the Baluchi Valley. The killer escaped.
They've shot at him as he's run, and currently we have Afghan and Australian forces out searching for him.
Then early this morning, a Special Forces team operating in neighbouring Helmand province was being landed by chopper when the machine crashed and rolled over. 2 Special Forces privates aged 23 and 30 were killed.
This is news so truly shocking that it's going to feel for many Australians like a physical blow. This is news so saddening that many are going to feel the immense weight of it. And if we are feeling that, then it is hard to imagine what the families of these 5 men are feeling. Their loss is immense, their grief will be sharp, and our condolences go to each of them.
This is a terrible, terrible tragedy. It is a black day for our Defence Forces.
Morale at the moment has taken a hit over this, understandably.
The latest deaths bring to 38 our casualties in the Afghan war. 6 of the 9 killed in the last 12 months have been at the hands of an Afghan soldier.
The insider threat is a threat that does concern us at the moment.
The Prime Minister says people will naturally ask, why are we still there? She says it is because there's a job to do.
Prime Minister, are you willing to contemplate any change to the withdrawal timetable from Afghanistan?
No, I'm not.
She says we stay to honour those who have sacrificed everything.
I've attended a lot of funerals, and one of the things that has always struck me is the resolve of family members to complete our mission. It is for us to show the same resolve.
But for many families, the war is a harder sell tonight than ever before.
Now, Queensland Premier Campbell Newman is a former Army engineer based here at Gallipoli Barracks. He spoke for all Queenslanders today.
I just hope that knowing that everyone cares about them is going to help them through this very difficult time.
Now, we understand that the commanding officer here at Gallipoli Barracks, Brigadier Greg Bilton, may speak to us tomorrow about what's happened, but rightly his focus right now is on his extended Army family, which is hurting very much right now.
Thank you, Tim Collett at Gallipoli Barracks.